Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Legacy FC heavyweight Richard Odoms. Richard, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good.
Richard, you got a fight coming up at Legacy FC 17 on February 1st. Before we get to the fight, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go back to your last fight against Jay Kuhn back at Pro Elite 3. Arguably the biggest win of your career. That was in the Pro Elite Heavyweight Grand Prix with that fight. You won that one and moved on to the finals where you were supposed to fight Ryan Martinez. Let's go back to the night of the fight against Jay Kuhn. What was Pro Elite telling you after that fight? Did they tell you exactly when you were supposed to fight for them?
That was supposed to go down, I want to say, within the next month or so. I'm sorry. It happened in Jay Kuhn. The fight with Jay Kuhn happened in January, I believe the 21st, and it was supposed to, we were supposed to finish the finals on April. That turned into May, and then it turned into June, and then it was non-existent. I guess Pro Elite ran into some financial problems, and they had to drop the whole tournament.
So during this time of waiting, are you preparing for the fight against Ryan Martinez, or after a couple months of not hearing from them, have you already moved on? What exactly are you doing during this time of not knowing when you're going to fight?
See, during that time, I was preparing for Ryan Martinez. I was doing all my training, getting everything online, and then I found out that they got pushed back. So instead of just going ahead and taking a rest, I stayed on the ball and continued to improve myself. From there, I found out that it was going to be non-existent. So from there, I just decided, hey, I'll let the contract or make sure that I'm good with the contract that I was signed with them, and make sure that I was good to go ahead and start fighting again.
What was the tip of the iceberg? Was it they called your manager and said, hey, we're not doing it? Or was it, the reason how I found out about it was that Ryan Martinez had signed an exclusive deal with Bellator. So if you put two and two together, Martinez goes to Bellator, he's not going to fight for Pro Elite. What was the way you found out that this was not going to happen?
That was the breaking point right there. When Ryan Martinez signed with Bellator, there was no fight for me, so I was basically cut from the contract. As far as that end, as far as my obligation to the Pro Elite, I no longer had one. So I decided to go ahead and start venturing off and looking for other fights. And in the meantime, I just stayed in the gym. I had no other choice. So without having any fights or anything like that, you can't really sit there and pout about it. I just gotta keep grinding.
You work full-time as a police officer, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you work full-time as a police officer, so it wasn't a stress on you financially that you weren't fighting. It was just that you weren't fighting, and you loved to fight, and you just couldn't because you had all these, waiting around, and maybe I'm going to get a fight this month, maybe I'm going to get a fight next month. Was that just basically the most frustrating part about the situation, is not knowing when your next fight will be?
I think not knowing was the big thing. I wasn't really financially strapped, but I was committed to, because I have my own school, I was committed to keeping my school running and things of that sort. And how I was keeping the school running was the extra money that I was making from fighting. Without that extra money, I just had to continue to grind and keep the school open. So, I teach kids and things like that sort, and I teach Taekwondo on the side, so that's just another something that I like to do as a hobby. It's a little expensive hobby, but that's something that I do.
Pro Elite assembled that heavyweight tournament to find the next great heavyweight. How disappointed are you that you didn't get to fight in the finals against Ryan Martinez?
Oh, real disappointed. I felt that I had every chance in the world to beat Ryan Martinez. I felt that he was outdone. I felt that his game, he has a good game. He's a tough guy. I just felt that I had the edge over him, and I felt it was going to be a good fight, and I just felt that I would be able to, in the end, come out on top.
Now I'm just curious, you had fought for Bellator in the past. Did they come calling during this time? Because I figured, they signed Ryan Martinez, you fought for Bellator, you have a history with them. Did they offer you anything?
No, I didn't hear from them. I didn't hear from anybody, really. My manager was Monty Cox, and Monty Cox is big time. He has a lot of UFC fighters on his roster, and during that time, a lot of the UFC fighters on his roster were getting fights and fighting all over and doing big things. Little old me, I felt that I wasn't getting looked at the way I should be. So it's no fault to Monty. Hey, he got bigger names on the roster. So as far as me, I felt I wasn't getting the clear shake that I needed to get. So I decided to look for another management group. I ended up joining U.S. Elite Combat Fight Management, and it's been great ever since going with them.
Mm-hmm. That fight against Jake Hune was way back, almost a year ago, January of 2012. Was that just the holdup? Was it, not being able to get fights, or did you have some injuries during that time, or you were just focusing on your academy and running that? What exactly has caused this long layoff?
Yeah, the long layoff was due to, not really having the management that I needed to have, and not really having the answer that I was getting that I needed from Elite. I wanted to make sure that I could go ahead and fight for whoever it may be. That way I wouldn't run into any legal issues. Got a lot of problems, I don't need any other problems. So as far as running into any legal issues with them, I wanted to make sure that I gave them the fair shake that they needed to be given, as far as them having me on a contract, and they toss around some things where, maybe I might be able to fight Arlovsky or someone along those lines. It never happened, so I want to say around September or so, I decided, hey, I'm done with them, and I decided to get a new management group and roll from there. I ended up getting a fight that was scheduled for November-ish of last year, and that fight fell through because I couldn't get up on it. So that's been the biggest hiccup of my career right now, is trying to get back in the cage.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got a great opportunity coming up. Legacy FC 17 on February 1st. You're fighting in your hometown. How much does that mean to you to not only be fighting in your hometown, but, to get a fight? Because it's been, a long time since you've been in action.
Oh, it means everything to me, man. As far as coming back after the long layoffs, coming back to San Antonio, I haven't fought in San Antonio, I would say in maybe a year and a half or so. I want my city to see the improvements that I've made, and I want them to be, in the front row seat to be able to see that. San Antonio, I feel, as far as Texas cities, has kind of taken a back seat when it comes to MMA. It's one of the biggest cities in Texas. You would think that there'll be bigger cards that will come here, but we haven't really had any big cards come here since Bellator. Mm-hmm. The venues and things that they had wasn't set for the best, and so it didn't really make it. I feel that, besides me saying that, that it's on my back to make sure that these big cards keep coming to San Antonio. Hey, it's on all the local fighters over here. It's all on our back, and we plan on selling it out come February 1st.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be fighting in the co-main event, and a good friend of yours, Pete Pratt, is going to be fighting in the main event. How nice is it for you to be fighting on the same card as he will be on?
Man, it's unbelievably, I'm honored. I'm unbelievably honored to fight under Pete Pratt. Pete Pratt has fought all over the world, fought with UFC. I totally look up to this guy. This guy is, he's a stand-up guy. He runs his school. He does his thing. He's somebody that I look up to. I call him Big Brother. He's a smaller guy, but he's my big brother. So as far as I feel that for whatever reason in Texas or in San Antonio, we don't get a lot of accolades or any write-ups or any type of publicity as far as MMA, and he's been all over the world. Yet he's here, and he'll go down and he'll fight and put a knockout in Brazil, or he'll go and he'll fight and win a fight in Houston, and they don't give him two sentences in the newspaper or no media coverage of him, and it's just unbelievable to me.
Yeah, Pete Pratt, very nice guy. The time that I had the honor of interviewing him, super nice guy. Nothing bad to say about Pete Pratt. How do you know him? Is it through fighting, or do you know him long before you were ever associated with MMA? Because you guys are not that far off in age. Do you know him from before fighting, or do you know him through MMA?
No, it just came through MMA. I happen, Pete Pratt really came onto the scene for me. Came on to we kind of met mutually through Jesse James Layoff. Jesse James Layoff introduced me to Pete Pratt, said he was doing MMA, and then we were doing boxing. So Pete Pratt would come in and work on his hands with Jesse James Layoff, and through him I met Pete Pratt. Right when I decided to leave boxing and go to MMA, I started congregating around him, seeing what he's doing, trying to find out more about the sport. The more I found out about the sport, the more I felt that it was something that I could move to.
Oh, I see. Richard, this fight, is this a multiple fight deal with Legacy, or is it just a one-off because you're...
This is a one-fight deal. But I plan on making it multiple after I win this fight. I feel that I have some things that Mr. Roshart's not looking for. He's 3-time All-American collegiate wrestler. So there's a lot of things that I have that I think he hasn't seen.
Who have you brought into your training camp to kind of mimic Jared Rochalt and his wrestling? Anyone?
I have Aaron Rosa. UFC fighter.
Sure.
That's he's a UFC veteran. So as far as his striking, there's no way that Jared's striking is going to be as good as Aaron's. As far as takedowns and things like that, Aaron when he trained with Tito Ortiz, he was up there with Team Punishment doing his thing when he was in UFC. Tito's last fight, he was up there. As far as wrestling, Aaron can wrestle too. So I feel I've gained a lot of pointers. I've gained a lot of knowledge from him, Pete Pratt, and Mike Rangel that have been with me, and I feel that I have no way but to come out on top on this one here. My training's been outstanding this time.
Of the guys that you fought in the past, obviously you'll be able to say better once this fight with Rochalt is over, but comparing him to some of the other guys that you fought in the past, where does he compare? Do you believe that he's a step up in competition for you?
Yeah, I want to say he's a step up as far as his background. His background is a step up. 3-time collegiate wrestler, All-American. That's nothing to shake your head at. That's something serious,
Right.
He worked. There's many years of work being done there to get him to that level. I haven't gone against somebody like that. The biggest names that I have on my record are Jay Hune and Schoonover. As far as that, I really haven't fought anybody that's really had strong names on them besides those two. Other than that, I feel every fight, regardless who I'm fighting, that it's something that I have to achieve, and it's something that I have to step up. I'm always looking at them as worst case scenario, and I feel that Jared Roshaw, he has his wrestling game. He said he's improved his boxing. His boxing has improved. Things of that sort. Those things are things that I keep in the back of my mind, and I bring it to training, and I want to improve off of those things and expose those things. That way I can get wins.
Mm-hmm. Now, this fight is going to be in your hometown. How many fans are you expecting to be there to support you?
As far as myself, you know, I feel that it's going to be a sea of blue. You know, like I said, I haven't been here in about a year and a half. I haven't fought in about a year and a half, so I've been abroad with Pro Elite, different other organizations, and so as far as that, I'm back here, ready to fight. It's going to be in my hometown. I'm so stoked about the whole thing. I feel it's going to be lovely.
Mm-hmm. Some fighters, they say it's good when they fight in their hometown because, the crowd's all behind them, but then there's some fighters who say, it's bad when they fight in their hometown because there's a lot more pressure on them. In this fight, do you feel any pressure, or is it just you've been out for such a long time that it's more excitement that you're feeling than pressure going into this one?
As far as pressure when it comes to fighting, as far as law enforcement, the job that I do,
right.
Me kicking in somebody's door, going into somebody's house that may have like a weapon waiting for me, or booby trapping, or they're gonna bring their madness with them. I feel that's more nerve wracking than step in the cage with somebody that I have knowledge of, and it's mano a mano,
Right.
As far as pressure, no, I don't feel any pressure. I feel that, I have a little bit of pressure to go out and perform. I have a performance anxiety, but other than that, pressure as far as nerves and things like that, I want to go out. I want to put on a good show for my hometown fans.
I see. Now, Richard, you've only been pro in MMA since 2010. Do you feel that this year layoff kind of held you back a little? Do you feel that you were on such a nice roll in that Pro Elite tournament, and even before that, you're undefeated. You had a lot of momentum build up. Do you feel that you've fallen a little bit behind?
No. Only because I looked at it positively. I looked at this whole letdown a little positively. Try to turn that negative. I constantly do that in my life. I try and take negatives and make them positive. So as far as the training, the extra training that I've got, the people that I've sought out, extra things that have come my way that I wouldn't have had if I had just stayed on the track. I would have gained that knowledge, but it wouldn't have been as great. I wouldn't have been able to focus as I did without having a fight. Now it was more just me learning on the job than having to learn on the job in the cage. As far as me not having an amateur record, I really didn't have that chance to get that amateur learning going on. With this little layoff, it has been, I want to say, a blessing for me, because I've been able to add training to my game, step up my game a little bit more, and change my game a little bit more. So if you thought the person that was fighting Jake Hune was pretty decent, this person is going to be a whole lot better.
Richard, you're 37. You're a lot older than the average MMA fighter who's fought 7 times and has been professional since 2010. How's your body feeling? Do you have a lot of mileage on your body? How do you feel physically?
I feel great. As far as my age, I know I'm the older guy on the block. When it comes to a lot of these young guys, they're fighting 18, 20, 22. I get in the cage, I'm usually fighting somebody that's 10 years younger than me. And I feel that I kind of started late in the game, but a lot of my lateness has developed me. I've been developed. So as far as the learning curve that I have, I'm learning a lot quicker than would be somebody who's young and doesn't have the experiences that I've had in life.
Mm-hmm. You're 7-0 right now. Anytime going into a fight, does your record, does that ever factor into it? Hey, I need to win this fight. I need to remain undefeated. Does that ever factor in when you think about your fights, or does that just never enter your mind at all? I don't care what my record is. I just want to fight. What do you think about record-wise?
As far as record-wise, it's great. It's great to have that zero. It's great to have that zero because, if I want to be looked at by bigger organizations, that zero is going to mean so much more. Mm-hmm. Or it's going to stand out so much more. I'm not going to have to say so many things in order to get into different organizations with that zero. So yeah, there's a little pressure there to keep that zero, but night of the fight, that zero has nothing to do with anything. I'm going in there. I feel that all my work that I do on the outside, and this is how I compare myself to younger fighters. I kind of understand that the work needs to be done outside the cage, and the cage time is just the performance. This is just the performance of that work being done. I feel that I do all my work on the outside. That way, when I get inside, there's no problem. It's just performance time, and it should go the way it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. With this year layoff that you've had, and now you got this fight coming up with Jared Rosholt, early in 2013. How much more important, with your layoff factoring into this fight, how much more important has it made this fight? Because if you win here and come out healthy, you can, get hop right back into training and hopefully get a fight real soon. So with that all playing, together in this fight, how much more important is it for you to get a win?
Yeah, it's most important for me to go out there and put a fantastic performance on. As far as if I come out with a loss, let's say I come out with a loss, I want everybody to know that I went out there and I fought my butt off. I gave everything that I had. Things happen. So as far as me getting the TV recognition that I need to get, this is the biggest step. As far as keeping those fights and keeping it rolling, I would like to fight every 2 months if necessary. But as you can see, what happens when you get into tournaments and things like that, and contract negotiations and all, things kind of draw out and not play your way. So yeah, I feel that this is the biggest step. This is a perfect step for me. If I go in and I do what I got to do, I feel that it's going to just bring me more. Mm-hmm. So, as a motivating factor, yeah, this fight is very motivating to me.
Mm-hmm. Richard, how have you envisioned this fight ending against Jared Rosholt?
I want to say I'm going to get a finish. Mm-hmm. However it ends up, I'm going to get a finish. Mm-hmm. I want to get a finish. There's no doubt in my mind. When you talk about pressure, being hometown, me getting a finish, I feel that my fans here at hometown need to see me finish somebody. It's been a long time that I've been competing. I haven't been competing that long, but as far as me learning and kind of being comfortable in the cage, I feel that right now I'm barely becoming comfortable with being in the cage, comfortable with doing everything, comfortable with being on the ground, comfortable in clinch, comfortable with standing up, comfortable with every aspect of the game. I feel that right now that I've barely come to pass with that. So I feel that it'd be great for me to get that finish. If I don't get a finish, I plan on making a grueling, long, drawn out fight where you're gonna see me try and put a lot of punishment on this guy. Mm-hmm. He's a tough guy. I expect him to be there all 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Richard, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you wanted to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
I'd like to thank that has helped me out greatly. I've only been with them for a couple of months, and it's totally changed my world around. So U.S. Elite Fight Management, U.S. Elite Combat, that's an awesome group of people. Mastodon Mouth Guards, Diamond MMA. Who else do I have on me? Defense Soap, and whoever else is looking at me to sponsor me and things like that. I'm going out there. This is the first time that I've had sponsors. I put the bill on everything that I do. As far as the 7 fights that I have, 7-0, I've been around a little bit. I sponsored all that. I've never had sponsors. So as far as this, it's a great step for me, and I'm looking to capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm. Richard, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck February 1st at Legacy FC 17 against Jared Rochalt.
I appreciate it.